Kira, Lord of Hunters. Grant that my hands be steady, my aim be true, and my feet swift. And should the worst come to pass, grant me forgiveness.
Content warning. There's going to be a brief discussion of Native American genocide and the transatlantic slave trade. Trust me, it makes sense when it comes up. I've seen some anti-religious sentiments on the left. Not many, but some. And I used to be one of those people who is anti-religion. I'm an atheist, and I have been one for the majority of my life. The vast majority of my mother's family were Mexican Catholics, and my dad's family are Jewish. I grew up in a Bible college town surrounded by Christians, most of which are Republican and conservative. I even briefly attended Catholic school. For reasons that may be obvious, I hated religion. I associated religion with bigotry, homophobia, misogyny, transphobia, lying to children, conservative politics. I was also in the New Atheism movement back in high school when the movement was in full swing. I remember watching that Bill Maher documentary, Maher? What was it called? Religious? I don't remember. I'll put up a picture of the thing. Okay. I thought it was the peak of edgy comedy. I was a teenager, and I wasn't very smart. I hated religion for a long time, but then I went to college. In my first semester of community college, I took a cultural anthropology class. And for the first time, I was introduced to concepts like cultural relativism, which is the idea that a person's beliefs, values, and practices should be understood based on that person's own culture, rather than be judged against the criteria of another. There are limits to cultural relativism, which anthropology does talk about, but I'm not going to get into that right now. I also learned about cultures that I had never even heard of, let alone knew much about, and I found a deeper understanding of my own mixture of cultures, which I had always dismissed, since I was largely excluded from participating in them. I was instantly in love with the field of anthropology, and I took as many classes as I could. In fact, I've taken every single anthropology course that is available at my community college, and it is currently my major, and I'm soon to transfer. The reason I bring up anthropology is because this was the first time I'd ever been introduced to the idea that religion was just a part of culture. It sounds obvious, but I had never really thought about it like that before. Not only is it a part of culture, but it's a huge part of culture, even by those within that culture who have no part in the religious aspects. For example, people in the West largely celebrate Christmas, even though they may not be Christian. It's just kind of a thing we do. But even the way we celebrate Christmas is informed and transformed by the cultures we come from. The way that people celebrate Christmas in Germany is totally different than the way it's celebrated in Mexico or Canada. And then, within those cultures, there are subcultures that also celebrate Christmas differently, and so on. To get back on topic, I want to get one thing straight. Religion is not a fundamental to humanity. First of all, other hominids had religious belief, such as Neanderthals. Secondly, not all humans have religion, obviously. I mean, I'm a human, and I'm not religious, for one. However, the presence of religion in culture can't be denied. It's literally everywhere, even in largely secular communities. My first argument is this: religion plays an important role in culture, and I think it should be preserved. The goal of the left shouldn't be to abolish religion, but rather the social baggage that religion carries. Let me explain. What are some common complaints against religion? I can tell you what I used to think. Number one, religious texts are full of bigoted and outdated views that harm humanity as a whole. Number two, religion is lying to people and can be used to manipulate people. These are not the only arguments against religion, but these are the two that I want to address in this video, and the two reasons that I used to be anti-religious or anti-theist, however you want to put it. First of all, it is true that many religious texts are full of bigoted and outdated ideas. When most people think about this, there are three religious texts that they are probably thinking of: the Old Testament, the New Testament, and the Quran. However, bigotry is not only limited to Abrahamic religions, nor is it limited to religions that have sacred texts. Bigotry can be found in both ancient and modern religions across the globe. It is important to remember that these texts were written by people who were influenced by culture of their time and place, whether that be Tao Te Ching or the Book of Mormon. People are flawed, and their religious beliefs or practices are going to be, too. I would argue that any and all bigoted and outdated beliefs involved with religion can be accounted for by changing cultural norms. One example of this is with slavery and Christianity. Slavery was promoted in the Bible, but most Christians today are not pro-slavery. Well, most Christians. The fact of the matter is that many problems we have with religion are actually problems with culture. Like I said earlier, religion is a part of culture. Abolishing religion would not solve these cultural problems. Now to the second part of my argument of why the left should be inclusive of religion. There are many religious leftists. I know that may seem like the left is largely secular, but I have met my fair share of religious leftists. They're usually wonderful people, and they shouldn't be overlooked. Some people seem to think that leftist theory and religion collide, which I cannot understand. When I hear these statements, they tend to be because of so-and-so leftist theorist said religion was bad. First of all, just because a theorist said it doesn't mean it's true. Secondly, the most common people I hear this sentiment attributed to are people like Marx, Lenin, and Bookchin. There's more, but I'm not going to talk about them. You all know that I'm not a theory heavyweight, but let's try and pick apart their statements on religion a little bit. Let's start with the big boy, Marx himself. Marx is quoted as saying, "Religion is the sigh of the oppressed creature, the heart of the heartless world, and the soul of soulless conditions. It is the opium of the people." Now, at first glance, this quote seems to be pretty on the nose with its condemnation of religion, but you need to understand the context of this quote and the type of writer that Marx was. Number one, this is a translated quote. Karl Marx spoke German, and this is translated from German to English. "It is the opium of the masses" is translated from German's, and please excuse my German, "Die Religion ist das Opium des Volkes." Though German and English are very similar languages in a lot of ways, the poetry of German is often lost when it's translated to English. Another thing to consider is that Marx was specifically talking about organized religion here. I think all leftists, including religious leftists, can agree that organized religion functions as an unnecessary and easily manipulated power structure. Having a more decentralized form of organization, whether that's religion or other power structures, is a good idea. When Marx talks about religion, he's looking at religion from a functionalist perspective. Functionalism is defined as a framework for building theory that sees society as a complex system whose parts work together to promote solidarity and stability. He understood organized religion was a system, not an individual. He was in no way condemning religious people themselves. Let's move on to Lenin. His most famous quote about religion goes like this: "Those who toil and live in want all their lives are taught by religion to be submissive and patient while here on earth, and to take comfort in the hope of a heavenly reward. But those who live by the labor of others are taught by religion to practice charity while on earth, thus offering them a very cheap way of justifying their entire existence as exploiters, and selling them at a moderate price tickets to well-being in heaven. Religion is the opium for the people. Religion is a sort of spiritual booze, in which the slaves of capital drown their human image, their demand for a life more or less worthy of man." In this quote, you can see that Lenin quotes Marx. Religion is the opium for the people. From this, we can assume that Lenin is also talking about organized religion. He even hints at this by mentioning how religion teaches a person to be submissive and patient for a heavenly reward. You can see further proof of this in Lenin's The Attitude of the Workers' Party to Religion, where he says, "Marxism has always regarded all modern religions and churches and each and every religious organization as instruments of the bourgeoisie reaction that serve to defend exploitation and to befuddle the working class." In fact, Lenin seemed far more concerned with shielding the state from religion rather than destroying religion itself. He wanted the party to remain secular, which I think pretty much every leftist, religious or otherwise, could agree with. Religion is a private matter, not a state matter. Lastly, let's talk about Bookchin. Bookchin is often quoted as saying, "From the family, through the school and religious institutions, the mass media, to the factory, and finally trade union and revolutionary party," in quotes, capitalist society conspires to foster obedience, hierarchy, the work ethic, and authoritarian discipline in the working class as a whole. Indeed, in many of its emancipatory, in quotes, moments as well. Again, we see the focus on religion as an institution, not a personal belief. Bookchin saw organized religion as just another form of unjust hierarchy. All the things he's talking about here are example of systems. families, religious institutions, mass media, factories, etc. Did Bookchin want to abolish families, media, production? No! He was merely critiquing the systems we currently have. The same goes for religion in this quote. I'm gonna be honest, even if all leftist theorists were anti-religion, I would still defend the idea of inclusivity to religious leftists and preserving religion for cultural reasons. Okay, let's say you still want to abolish religion for whatever reason. I would argue that the good of religion outweighs the bad. This is where my anthropology background comes back in. As anyone familiar with anthropology knows, anthropology is shit. It's super colonialist, imperialist, ethnocentric, racist, patriarchal. It's really awful, and we have a long way to go until it gets better, if it ever can be. These problems with anthropology stem from problems with society as a whole, which we need to talk about. The destruction of culture is a tool of genocide. I know this took kind of a dark turn, but stay with me here. For example, the destruction of religion was a fundamental tool of genocide Europeans used against native peoples of the Americas. Forced to convert to Christianity, many Native Americans were severed from their cultural heritage. Now, you may not be talking about native religions when you say you're anti-theist, but native religions are no less valid than any other. In fact, putting native religions on a pedestal above or separate from Abrahamic religions is super patronizing, and plays into the hideous, romanticized noble savage stereotype, where people see native culture as more pure than non-native cultures. They may not be the same hugely powerful, destructive, organized religions as Abrahamic ones, but they are still valid and worth consideration. Another example of stripping away religion is how it was used as a weapon against Africans kidnapped and sold into slavery. These Africans were forced to convert to Christianity and abandon their own religious beliefs. Their religious practices were prohibited and violently suppressed. A lot like the ethnocentric attitudes towards native religions, racist Westerners often don't consider African religions to be real religion, which is just insulting and basically untrue. Also, like the Native Americans, there is no one African religion either. Many African religions were suppressed during the transatlantic slave trade and to this day. I'm not saying that this is what the anti-theist left wants, or that all anti-theists are secretly racists or any of that silly shit. What I'm asking you to do is to consider the consequences of suppressing religious belief, whether that be for the purposes of propping up your own religion or for abolishing religion altogether. There is no peaceful way to abolish religion. If everyone decided on their own to be atheist, that's fine, but you can't force it, and you shouldn't. No matter what you think about the validity of religious belief, or if you think it conflicts with religious values, whatever that means, the cost of suppression of culture is too high. The right loves to talk about cultural preservation, but they really have no fucking idea what they're talking about. They never bring up these types of examples and constantly shit on anyone who isn't Christian, especially Muslims or Jews. But sometimes even those on the left can fall prey to these troublesome ideas. All too often, leftists have trouble abandoning colonialist and ethnocentric models of thinking. I know I do. So, this was a quicker video, much shorter than my last one. I'm sorry about how long that was. But I would like to give a shout out to some smaller leftist YouTubers that I really love, and I think that deserve a lot more attention. Now, this is by no means everyone, but I would like to mention a few people. Some of these people are actually larger than my channel, but I still want to shout them out, just in case you haven't heard of them. The first person I want to talk about is Eccentric Rants. They do these really awesome leftist video essays, they do some streams, it's great. The next person I want to talk about is Snapple and Cats, who you may know that I've shouted out before. She's amazing, she talks a lot about disability and leftism, and you should definitely follow her. Another person I want to talk about is Oreo. He also does really great videos. He does some streams, sometimes it's regular videos. Just definitely watch him. I know one of my favorite videos of his are where he talks about James Bond, because I know he's a big James Bond fan. Another person that you should definitely follow is TransNationale. She's fantastic. She did a debate with Destiny, which was really great. She also talked to, I forgot their name. I know them as the Antifa wheelchair warrior from the Portland riot. remember, there's that famous picture of the 3 people standing there, and there's the person in the wheelchair, and she did an interview with them, and that was really cool. Another person I want to talk about is DeadManAnimations. He is fantastic. I know he's done some streams with people, interviews with people, that sort of thing. You should definitely look him up. I know, I'm pretty sure he's also a vegan YouTuber, which is really cool. Another person I want to talk about is The Inner Moon. He makes, like, essays and stuff on his website, which is also called theinnermoon.com. It's stuff about revolution, it talks about religion, there's some fiction writing in there, I think there's some fan fiction I saw. Someone else I want to shout out is Anarchaboi. He is fantastic. He makes videos that... I don't understand why he doesn't have more subscribers. He deserves more. I think I'm really torn between the Hong Kong video he did and the model minority myth video he did. I think that was really fantastic. I think I'm gonna say the model minority video was my favorite, because it was the first one I saw. I think it's his first video, but it was so good. I wish my first video could have been that good. So definitely go give him a follow. I would also like to talk about Lipstick Linebacker, who is about to make a video, I think it's next week, where it's going to talk about the job market and implied coercion, which is going to be a great video. You know, she's awesome. You should definitely check her out. Follow her on Twitter, follow her on YouTube. Just definitely check her out. Someone you should definitely check out is Cuñado the izquierdas, I think is how you say it. He's fantastic. He's just the coolest guy. He's super nice. I know one video that I'll always remember of his is it's a stream he did with someone talking about Star Trek and if it's communist or not. And I love that video so much. Also, if you speak Spanish, I know some of his videos aren't in Spanish, so, you know, definitely check him out, you know, if that's what you're looking for. The next person I want to talk about is Camazotz, who does streams, he does videos, he's awesome. I think my favorite of his videos is the part 1 and part 2 of the Bolsonaro problem. You know, I'm always very confused about, like, current events in the world, so I really love it when, you know, leftist YouTubers will break this stuff down so I can understand it, and he's great about that, and yeah, so go check him out. Another person I want to talk about who has a little more subscribers than me is Byte. They make some videos about trans stuff. They talk about true scum. They talk about reactionary trans people like Blair White. They talk about rationality rules, all kinds of things. You should definitely check them out. Another person I want to talk about, they have a significant amount of subscribers more than I do, is Sheep in the Box. They make a lot of great videos. I think one of my favorite ones is How Capitalism Ruined Your Health. Fantastic. Another person is SJWview. He is hilarious. He's done a lot of videos about like cultural stuff, like Cyberpunk 2077, James Charles, all kinds of shit. He's really cool. Go check him out. Another person is BigBreadBrainz. Oh my god, I am too dyslexic. They make all kinds of cool shit. Okay. Their videos are so fantastic. I don't know. I think my favorite is probably How Your Boss is Killing You. I think that video was fantastic. Another person I want to shout out. They are way more popular than I am, but if you haven't heard of her, you definitely should go follow her. Her name is Gwen No Fear. She does all kinds of videos. My dog is barking again. She does all kinds of great videos that you should go watch. Another person is Tash Reynolds. They're really blowing up. It's fantastic. Let's see here. Which video? Okay, the Simpsons video. Fantastic. The IQ video. Amazing. Just everything. Just go watch all the videos. Another person who doesn't have nearly enough subscribers is MeID, I think is how you pronounce it. It might be MEID, but I think it's MeID. They did a video about prison. They did a video about identity. Like, their videos are perfect, and you should definitely go subscribe to them. Just fantastic. Just please. They deserve way more subscribers. Another person I would like to shout out is LaborKyle. who is this super smart, like, college person that, like, I watch his videos and I feel like I'm in school, but in, like, a good way. Like, a cool way. Like, just go watch his videos. They're fantastic. Okay, the next person is Afro Syndicalist. They are fantastic. Like, okay, I'm not sure which one my favorite videos is. It's actually, okay, I know exactly what my favorite video is. My favorite video is where they talk about the community garden they work at. It's actually a shorter video, but I really like it because it's so pure and wonderful. And I love the idea of a community garden. So I'm a little jealous. Next person is Lefty Philosophy. All of their videos are fantastic. I think my favorite, though, is definitely the History of Masculinity, which they just posted, and you should go watch. It is so good. Another person. Okay, Silverface. Silverface is amazing. They really helped me get into this YouTube shit. I didn't understand what I was doing. They helped me a lot. Okay, they did that amazing video about Fash Wave. They did a video about the privacy of LGBTQ+ queer students. They did a video about the accessibility of YouTube, which I am so into. Just go check them out. They are super cool. They are the shiniest of faces. Go look at them. Okay. Another person is Caltrops. Caltrops does amazing videos. Their videos are also super, like, aesthetic. Like, I remember their first video I watched it was just perfect. You should just go watch it. Go watch all the videos. Next person is the People's Bayonet, who has quite a few, like, a lot more followers than I do, but she's just awesome. I don't know what else to say. Let me see. What's my favorite video? I'm gonna have to say, I love all of them. Okay, I know exactly. It's the video on individualism. Definitely watch that one. It's called How Does Individualism Suppress Individuality? Next person is my boy, Lexd, the other trans man YouTuber. So they are doing great, and everything that he does is amazing. He did a video about Killmonger, he did a video about transmedicalism, he did a Minecraft video, so you know he's fucking alpha. He did a video on Islam, he did all kinds of shit. So definitely go check him out. He is fantastic. Another person I want to shout out is SABER, and my favorite video of theirs is definitely the Woke Hollywood video. I don't know why. Like, I remember seeing the thumbnail and just being immediately like, yep, we're gonna watch that one. Like, so this is not all the people that I could shout out, but this is all the people that I thought of when I wanted to shout out people. And I'm thinking about, like, at the end of each of my videos, shouting out a bunch of people. So if you want to be shouted out, let me know. You can DM me on Twitter at LowTCharlie, or you can just comment here and I will give you a shout out. Whether you're a YouTube channel or if you have a blog, whatever you do, if you're a leftist, you know, even if your content isn't necessarily leftist, just let me know and I will give you a shout out. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it was a little bit different than what I usually do. I don't usually talk about theory stuff, but I hope you enjoyed it. Alright, that's it. One last minute thing that I decided to add to the end of the video, kind of on a whim, was I'm going to be putting the link to my Venmo in the description. I originally didn't really feel very comfortable advertising that in my videos, but I had an unexpected big expense come up today, and I kind of need the money. So if you have the means and you want to tip me or whatever, I would really appreciate that. Yeah, if you enjoy my content, or if you just want to give me money. So thank you.